Hello and welcome to a live reaction to the 2023 draft, the NFL draft, where the Eagles have just selected with the 9th overall pick, defensive tackle out of Georgia, JALEN Carter, as Phil moves around his laptop. How are you doing, guys? We've just been chatting. We decided we'd come on and do a bit of a live reaction. I'm going to come to you first, Mick, because this is the third Georgia Bulldogs defensive player that the Eagles have signed in the last 2 years after Jordan Davis and the linebacker who hasn't played a snap so far, Kobe Dean. Well, he's played a few snaps, not many. And he must be wondering, hang on, I've got these two lads in front of me again?
Oh, yeah, bringing those Georgia boys together once more, get that pipeline working. Between Athens and Philadelphia, get these Bulldogs in my team. Would have been internally screaming at the television as the picks are rolling in and JALEN Carter's falling down the list. Notably, I'm like, okay, who are the Falcons taking? You know, who are the Bears taking? Who are Detroit taking? And I'm just like, it can't be Carter. I'm pinning my hopes up. Every single pick as it comes in is getting my hopes up. Just that little 10% more as a hit, boiling point. And my kids are asleep upstairs. It's as we record, it's 2:45 in the morning UK time, and
good effort. It's good effort.
Internally screaming, I'm so excited about this pick. As you'll know, as any of our listeners will know, I couldn't speak more highly of JALEN Carter. And the prospect that he was coming out of college. Yes, all the sort of history of police sort of reports and the character issues and all that sort of stuff, that didn't bother me. We spoke about that. We spoke about that with Tony when he was on the podcast. I said, listen, forget it. This guy can play football, and he's a Philadelphia Eagle. He's a Philadelphia Eagle, guys.
He's a Philadelphia Eagle, and a lot of people are saying he's the most talented person. The most talented player in the draft, certainly the most talented defensive player in the draft. And it's interesting. We were chatting before we jumped on, Mick, and people had Lucas Van Ness has just gone live to the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people did not want
did
not want him in those jerseys. So and look, hey, Green Bay continues to not select a wide receiver in the first round. Go figures. But back to JALEN Carter for a second. I mean, the combination of him and Jordan Davis for the next 4 or 5 years, at minimum, on the defensive tackle position for the Eagles. That is scary. Scary, scary, scary for any opposing quarterback. And what it gives them with the kind of scheme that Gannon played, with now Desai likely players, pressure up the middle, creating space around the edges for the edge rushers to get to the quarterback. Something the Eagles did incredibly well last year. Either the edges forced them in, or the defensive tackles forced them out, and the quarterback said nowhere to go. Hence the huge high sack numbers. And can I just say again, Howie Roseman continues to build in the trenches. What a pick, Phil! How happy are you to see JALEN Carter pick number 9 for the Eagles, teaming up with his Georgia boys, ready to wreak havoc in the backfield of opposing teams?
It's 100% the smart pick. I know I banged on about Bijan, and generally I am sad that he's not an Eagle, because I got excited like Mick did with JALEN Carter, that the guys were falling and things were falling into place for us to be able to take that. But I guarantee you, no one out there had Bijan going before JALEN Carter in the draft.
I think you're right.
So the way it's fallen is absolutely bizarre. I mean, the whole draft has been exciting, exactly as we expected, and the way the picks have fallen have given us entertainment. We've had plenty of trades. The Texans trading back up to pick up consecutively as second and third is just great fun for the neutral fan. But in terms of obviously our pick, Jalen Carter is. It's the absolute smart pick, like I said. I'm happy with that because it's more of a case
Are you
of.
worried about his character at all? Are you worried about his character at all?
Yeah, I think I was probably more worried than any of the three of us, just because I'm a big character guy. I'm a big sort of like, if you make silly mistakes in any area of your life, then you're likely to make silly mistakes in other areas. However, that being said, I'm comfortable with the fact that
they would have done their due diligence, the Eagles, right? They don't muck around with that sort of shit.
No, they'll have done their due diligence. Like I said, they've got Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis in the building. I'm confident that Howie's confident, that Nick Sirianni's confident that they can overcome the problem if there is a problem. If there's not a problem, it's just a few silly mistakes, and they're just going to make sure that he doesn't make those mistakes again. Then fine. But absolutely, having this guy for the next 5 years and beyond, if he fulfills his potential as we all think he can be, arguably the most talented. Player in the draft, as people have said, it's just been those red flags that have. Sorry,
I was going to say that a lot of people have been saying he was the most talented player on the Georgia defense last year, alone this year.
Yeah, I do remember that, and people are saying that he's the most talented player in this draft. It's just been the red flags that have clouded that, that from being like he would have been 2, he would have been maybe even 1.
Could Nakobe Dean and Jalen Carter back to back be the 2 biggest steals in NFL draft history? I mean, I'm throwing that one out there.
Yeah, I mean that's a wild accusation.
Tom Brady 6th round. Yeah, I know.
I know what you're getting at. I mean, but the only thing I'd add to that is that we're still not 100% certain about what Nakobe Dean is going to be for the Eagles, because there's. My argument is that they've allowed him to sit because of whatever issues they had, concerns they had when they picked him. He might come in and be good, or they might also not be 100% convinced, and it might just be one of those things where they took a chance, it didn't work out. So I'm not going to get 100% all in, as it's impossible for me as the fence to jump on anything and be 100% all in.
You need a fence kind of noise, Mick.
You come off your fence for Bijan, though.
Yes,
but I did that. I think I did that. Was it 2 years ago now? For Smith, I was like, I want Smith, and we got him. And I think I would. That's what I felt the same. I was like, oh my god, we're going to get Bijan. It's going to be great and exciting. But I know that this is the smarter move. I just know. It's one of those things where my head is happy, my heart is a little bit sad.
Yeah, I feel pretty similar. So I have to admit, I don't want to come across as negative whatsoever, and because I think and feel similar to the way you're thinking and feeling. But I think 3 or 4 podcasts ago, I was like, I'm all out on Jalen Carter. I don't want him. I was pretty abrupt in saying that. Over the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've come around to the idea a lot more, and I think that the Eagles have probably made the best pick in the top 10.
Yeah, that's what keeps coming back to me, because all I can think about just now, or when the pick came in, I was just thinking about other teams, other podcasters, like people that cover the whole league, and I'm just thinking, how have the Eagles done this? How have they managed to land the top prospect in the draft at 9th overall? How are the Eagles doing this? How? It's just
I can answer that.
How we
exactly. Liam's got it spot on. One simple answer for that is the fact that we don't have an organisation at any part. So we don't have a crazy owner and a smart GM. We don't have a smart owner and a crazy GM. We have a smart owner and a smart GM, and the team is just never going to make those mistakes. And they're just he knew exactly. He had so many options. He knew exactly what he was going to do. Wait for Bijan or Carter. I think people were correct. It was a case of one of those would fall. If they don't, we probably would have traded back. And I think that's essentially why we traded up one space from 10 to 9. It's because they didn't want to be in a position at 10 without Carr or Bijan having to move back any number of places, desperate to try and find someone who wants to trade up, which I don't think there probably was as much interest as we would like to think when we're doing a mock draft and we're just going, scroll down, who are we going to pick? It's a case of there might not have been anyone, and player-wise, there might not have been anybody that they really wanted. And then we're sort of we've gone from being in a super flexible draft, picking anybody we want, feeling like the world's our oyster, to going, oh shit, oh my god, this could go really wrong really quickly. But we've got Carter, it's fine. The draft is already a success. We got pick 30. We now got pick 66 as well as 64. So I wouldn't be surprised now if Howie's looking to move up. I mean, I thought he would move up for Jamar Gibbs, but obviously he's gone to the Lions crazily at 13, was it? 12? 12.
I can't believe that. Is wow.
Absolutely crazy.
This draft has been like the best draft I've ever watched. It's just so exciting.
Roderick Jones has just gone to the Steelers at 14. I mean, he wasn't touted to go until like the mid to late 20s. Gonzalez still on the board.
So in terms of running back, we're definitely not picking a running back tonight. But who is there any? I mean, Mick has got a better read.
Nolan Smith.
Oh yeah, Nolan Smith. I can see how we're going for Nolan Smith. I'd be more than happy with that. Maybe even JSN.
Nolan Smith, that'd be ridiculous.
We could still go for JSN, although I think there's rumours he's going to the Jets in his next pick. But you know, but the thing is, like, I know, but we haven't gone running backs. We've got the solid, not safe pick, but the smart pick now.
Am I right in saying
we've got like a foundation piece. We've got the foundation piece.
The pick 30, or if we use another pick to move that pick 30 up, we can now go with whatever we want, and no one is going to look at that and go, "Oh, the Eagles have been a bit throwing caution to the wind, or been a bit risque. They've been smart, and now they're going to go exciting. I guarantee it."
You think they're going to go exciting?
It's going to be a trade up for Nolan Smith, JSN, someone like that, just to kind of really set the fireworks going, and then we'll go into tomorrow night with a couple of picks maybe, or at least a third round pick.
I'm enjoying the run of tackles that are going just now because it means
it's pushing things.
Yeah, it's pushing a lot of the prospects down the board towards us as well. So there's a lot of good pass rushers still on the board, and there's a lot of good pass catchers still on the board. So we could absolutely go anywhere, right, Phil? I think you're absolutely right. Like it sort of made pick 30 almost the luxury pick, where we were thinking before pick 10 would be the luxury pick. But
we knew either one was going to be the luxury
it's flipped
pick.
It, isn't it?
It's just whether you took the risk and went luxury first, hoping that your smart pick would still be there. This is obviously the right way to do it. You know, your head's ruling your heart, as it should. This is how you would do it. Get Jalen Carter locked in, defensive player locked in, a big need, and then with pick 30 or somewhere in the mid-20s, I reckon, late teens, early 20s maybe, we'll be getting Nolan Smith or JSN.
Just quickly, Jets are on the clock. If they pick JSN here, they will have Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, JSN, Alan Lazard, and Tyler Conklin. It's a pretty decent offense.
I've said this loads of times tonight that all the bottom feeder teams from the last couple of seasons have all made really good moves. The Panthers moving up to 1 is the big one, obviously. The Falcons have made some sneaky moves, and now they've got Robinson. And you've got teams like the Jets that have gone out and just gone, do you know what, screw it, let's go get Aaron Rodgers. They've stuck to their guns, and they've got a really good, like, I mean, Rodgers, people laughed. I remember I chuckled myself when Rodgers was like, oh, he might go to the Jets. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? He's going from not having any wide receivers, not having any significant tight ends, not having anything really going from it all going downhill in Green Bay, to going to a Jets team with, like as you've said, all those players, James Robinson and Elijah Moore, have lost, but they still seem like such a strong team.
All right, Jen. So question then: who are the Eagles picking? All three of us have a choice. Who are the Eagles picking? One pick. Who are they picking at the next pick? Doesn't need to be a 30. They can trade up. They can trade down. Who is the Eagles' next pick? Mick.
So hard, man. I mean, I would love to make. Mick, you go, because then if JSN goes with the Jets, I can then go with Nolan Smith.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, I'm still in the realm of the defense. Even though we've taken interior defense, I loved Brian Brisset from Clemson, but I don't see us doubling up on interior defense. So I think we might pick up an edge rusher if Miles Murphy's still on the board late on. I think we could pull the trigger.
I like that, Miles Murphy. He was in the mix of who I was thinking about. Phil, you got a guy you want to go for?
I'm probably going to agree with Mick. I think I have a sneaky gut feeling that we are going to go for one of the top wide receivers, just because they've fell so far, and it is one of those. It's not a need, but it is. You imagine if we have Smith, AJ Brown, and one of the top wide receivers in the draft. If we're not going to get Bijan, this would be like the next level of exciting offensive pick. We've done the defensive balance. We've done the need. We've done the sensible pick. Let's go out and let's go crazy. Let's just do something wild that people go, actually, that's like a really smart move. Pick 10, pick 30, get Jalen Carr, JSN, pick Jalen Carr, Addison, or what's the other guy? Oh, third guy escaped me.
Quentin Johnson.
Flowers?
Yeah.
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers was the one I'm thinking of. But see, as you can see, there's like 3 genuine wide receivers that, if you're going in as a wide receiver 3, makes a sensible move, because we're not bringing those in we're desperate for wide receivers, so let's just clutch at one of these guys. It's like bringing them in as a luxury, almost like, we've polyfilled the holes, sanded it down, and now we're just painting over that nice smooth color of paint that you've been looking for, and it's just finishes it off just nice.
I mean, what better way to end this segment? Awesome. So, reaction to the first pick of the 2023 draft by the Philadelphia Eagles. We are the British Eagles, and we're all currently consuming a beverage of one of our main sponsors, which is Loch Lomond Whiskies. I'm currently drinking the Inchmurren. Even are you drinking the Inchmurren by any chance, Phil?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am.
This is coincidence, and it's not.
You're on the perfectly balanced.
If you're maybe listening to the podcast and thinking this is all set up, no, you're dead correct, Phil. I am on the perfectly balanced. And if you
No way! We've all got the 3 different ones.
And if you can see the level of that, I am dangerously close to running out of the
if that's not
perfectly
worth
balanced.
that's not worth a bit of publicity for Tony. I don't know what it is.
But what better way to
that bottle for the rest of this first round of the draft, Mick? To be honest.
That'll be polished off very soon. I'll start on my next one, especially if we take one of my guys. See if we pull up and draft Michael Mayer. I'm doing streaks around the.
We're not going down, are you? All right, we'll end that here. Listen, we're the British and Irish Eagles. We are 6 or 7 hours into having a few beverages. We hope you enjoyed our reaction to the first pick of the 2023 NFL draft, and we'll see who we pick next. Go Birds!
Go Birds!